it's time for your Tuesday tip, and I wanted to talk today about how to boost your metabolism, because a lot of you guys have been asking about metabolism boosting and tips and tricks and food choices that can help you do that. So I thought I'd share a wee bit of that today. Okay, so who is responsible for your metabolism? Your thyroid, which is the butterfly gland that sits in your throat. It is responsible for lots of things like body temperature and digestion and energy and heart rate, and also plays a huge role in your metabolism. So what do thyroids love? Thyroids love not yo-yo dieting. Yo-yo dieting is probably the number one boo for metabolism, because what you're doing is you're revving it up and then slowing it down and revving it up and slowing it down. It stresses out not only your thyroid but your adrenal glands too. So the adrenals and the thyroid work very well together in conjunction for metabolism and fat storage and fat burning. They play as a team. So how we can support both of them is not yo-yo dieting. So getting plenty of rest. So there have been lots of studies came out a few years ago linking weight loss and fat burning and sleep deprivation, and how sleep deprivation will only hinder fat burning and will encourage fat storage. Because oh my God, and this one could be like an hour-long Tuesday tip. Watch, it might be. Okay, so what happens, the body, when it perceives a stress, like your bank account could be a perceived stress. Your lack of sleep could also be a physiological stress. So perceived stress is something that you view as a stress, which then secretes cortisol. And then there's a physiological stress like lack of sleep. Lack of sleep is or disrupted sleep is a huge physiological stress for the body, which again will then secrete cortisol. So what happens when cortisol is secreted, fat gets stored because the body thinks it's stressed out and it needs to survive that situation. Now, if this happens when you see a tiger, it's like, okay, cool. You survived the tiger in 2 minutes, but if this is going on like chronically for years and years and years that you haven't been sleeping very well, fat storage will just continue because the body is trying to survive that, right? It's saving that fat for later because it doesn't know how long it's going to be running from this proverbial tiger and or this lack of sleep, right? Hope this is making sense. So getting sleep and quality sleep, please sleep in the dark. If you need melatonin help, there's all sorts of products out there that will help you with that. Other ways to boost your metabolism is high intensity training. So one of those like interval trainings, that is wicked good for fat burning, okay? Running over a long distance is also not the greatest, but again, it's a prolonged stress on the body. So the body can sometimes get confused with long distance running in terms of fat burning. So interval training is a really good way to boost your metabolism. Obviously avoiding inflammatory foods and triggering foods, because what that does is it causes inflammation in the body and will hinder all sorts of endocrine, aka hormone, roles in the body. So avoiding inflammatory foods like gluten, dairy, soy, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine, at least for a period of time, so you can just press pause on the inflammation in your body. And then adding metabolism powering foods. Like what? Good question. So some of my favorite foods to help the body do its job, called burn fat and give you energy and be healthy. Apple cider vinegar is probably my number one fave. It is pH balancing. I know that's sort of counterintuitive because it is technically vinegar is an acid, but it contains phosphorus, and that is really alkalizing. So drinking apple cider vinegar, bone broth is one of my favorite foods on the planet. I think it might win the superfood award of the year. And then grapefruit actually contains an enzyme to help you break down sugar. Cayenne pepper, it's kind of like, well, duh. Cayenne is like, it's really hot. It's burning alive. It's going to crank up your metabolism and crank up that fat burning. So if you can handle it, adding cayenne pepper to any or all things as much as you can stand, your metabolism will thank you very much. And then ghee actually is a really cool one as well. It's a short chain to medium chain fatty acid, and it's actually directly absorbed through the small intestine to be used as fuel immediately, not as fat storage, and actually help you burn other fats. So that's Tuesday tip that really could be like an hour-long class. Speaking of which, I have those. They are super fun and super informative and super awesome. I will post the link to those. And check out Willa and Olive, my new website. It's our farm brand. It's essentially everything that we love on the farm, from galvanized planters to watering cans to cast iron pans to all of my favorite kitchen gadgets. It's just all of my favorite things on one website. So check out Willa and Olive. I will also link that. And happy Tuesday. Love you. Bye.